right, buckle up, bitch. It is election week. Jared, are you ready for this?
Do I have a choice?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, with that, let's just go right into our market headlines this week, since, I'm sure you've seen pretty much every headline out there is about the election. So let's do a couple of these, then we'll move on. So stocks are higher and the Trump trade reverses as polls are deadlocked. U.S. equity futures edged higher Monday, while the dollar slumped lower and treasury yields tumbled as investors brace for a wild week on Wall Street with the presidential election, a key Fed rate decision, and a host of corporate earnings. Jared, how ready are you for election day? You got your trading game plan in place?
My plan is I don't have a plan. I'm just gonna follow the market.
It's kind of like real-time sports betting, like live sports betting.
Like real-time sports betting. Yeah. I have my setup. I got my trading terminal. I got Twitter. I got news on my computer. I got cable. So I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm ready for anything. I'm going to be pulling an all-nighter on Tuesday night. And
me too.
Maybe, I'm assuming that we're not going to know the outcome, but if we do, then I'm going to bed,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, when do you actually expect us to get the results? I definitely don't think it'll be Tuesday night.
I think there's a possibility it will be. So
Really?
here's kind of my thinking on this. Everybody's kind of stumped as to who's going to win. I think the piece of information that matters is that you've seen a lot more registrations for Republicans compared to years past, especially in swing states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and stuff like that. Republicans are registering in greater numbers, and a lot more of the early voting is going to Republicans than in years past. I think those two pieces of information are probably the most valuable. I don't put a lot of weight on the polls. Everybody knows that Republicans generally don't participate in polls. So, if you ask me, this is a good opportunity for me to make an idiot out of myself because today is Monday and this is going to come out on Thursday and the election's on Tuesday. But if you ask me today, I would say Trump's going to win. That's my call.
It's going to be so close, though.
It's going to be really close. And even though I'm saying that, I am not putting on any positions because where the market moves once the result is known isn't really dependent on the actual outcome. It depends on positioning, right?
Right.
So I'm not making predictions and trading on them. I'm just making idle predictions. This is something we can talk about.
Yeah, this is kind of our pre-election podcast. Next week, we can kind of dive into the results a little bit. So I came across this Yahoo Finance article that pointed out 3 trade ideas under each scenario, as in a Trump victory or a Harris victory. And it pointed out 3 potential trades for Trump would be financials, gold, and managed care insurers. And then for Harris, EVs, home builders, and discount retailers. Do you agree? Disagree? And what other trades will you be keeping a close eye on?
I think the discount retailers is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Somebody's got like tongue-in-cheek humor. Sector wise, I guess I don't really disagree with any of that. Kamala Harris said she wants to build 3 million homes. That's going to turn into a Charlie Foxtrot of, galactic proportions, but I guess it's good for home builders. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with any of that stuff. A lot of people are disagreeing on energy. In the past, Republican presidents have been good for energy stocks. And now the thinking on that has kind of changed because Trump has said, drill, baby, drill. We're going to, drill for as much energy as possible, which means oil prices go down, which is actually bad for energy stocks. So I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of changes this election, but I don't really know. I don't know if you remember this. I think it was the 2016 election, the coal ETF and bonds of coal companies rallied into the election in anticipation of a Trump win. So yeah, I don't know. What are you going to do?
We will see. Next up from the Wall Street Journal on the cost of living. So inflation has cooled, but Americans are still seething over prices. The economy is humming, inflation has cooled off, Americans are well employed, getting raises and spending freely, but people still have not gotten over how much prices are now higher today than in 2020. My first thought was, I mean, are prices ever going to return to pre-pandemic levels? I don't think so.
Not unless we have like a massive recession, which I don't think is really in the cards. So no, prices are not returning to pre-pandemic levels. My friend Brent Donnelly a couple weeks ago posted a chart, um, basically putting inflation in real terms, not nominal terms, and talked about the idea that wages have also gone up a lot. So in the past couple of years, inflation in real terms has actually been going down because wages continue to rise super, super fast. And prices are only now going up about 2% a year. So I thought that was interesting. But people don't live in a real world. They live in a nominal world. They look at nominal prices. And if a gallon of milk costs $6 instead of $3, then they say, oh my God, we have inflation. And,
Just digging a little deeper into this, people continue to face painfully high and sometimes rising prices for the big ticket items, including housing, cars, childcare, and insurance, which contributes to their sense of unease. Both campaigns, Trump and Harris, understand the need to appeal to voters' continued sense of anger over prices. Trump has said he would push to end taxes on Social Security benefits and overtime pay, as well as make car loan insurance tax deductible. Harris has proposed offering $25K and down payment assistance for many first-time home buyers, a new Medicare benefit for in-home elderly care, and she also said she would investigate and punish grocery and food companies that engage in price gouging. So, I mean, I don't expect you to endorse a candidate here. You've gone on record. You're not voting this year anyway, but which one of these candidates would you consider to be less inflationary?
I would consider to be Trump to be less inflationary until you take into account the fact that he wants to participate in monetary policy decisions, right? So he wants the Fed to lower rates. So if you exclude that, which is a big thing to exclude, then yes, I mean Kamala, if she's a demand side politician, she has demand side solutions. If people don't have money to buy a house, let's give them money. Guess what? The price of the house just went up. Like that's, classic demand side Keynesian economics. Trump, I don't think Trump is really a supply sider, when he talks about things like capping credit card interest rates and stuff like that. The thing about Trump is that the areas he is strongest in are taxes and regulation. Okay. So if, just say for the sake of example, we had a Republican sweep, we would get tax relief. And he is going to take a flamethrower to the regulatory state, and people have talked about the amount of regulations that we have, right? So, like you said, I don't vote. I haven't voted in 20 years. My preference for those reasons is that Trump would win, but we'll see.
I think enough about the election. I'm kind of burned out on it. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tiring. I'm so exhausted
Let's
from it.
talk about something. I got something for you. Let me throw you a curveball.
Yeah.
Did you see the recent Dow Jones Industrial Average adds and deletes?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, first of all, the committee that decides the index adds and deletes for the Dow they're just idiots. Like whenever they delete a stock, it goes up. Whenever they add a stock, it goes down. There's some great examples. They deleted GE. GE has gone up 500%. They deleted ExxonMobil in 2020. That's gone up 300%. They added Salesforce. Salesforce has gone down. They added Walgreens. Walgreens is so they get it wrong every single time. Well, they're deleting Intel and they're adding NVIDIA.
Okay, I did see that. Yep.
Yes. So two semiconductor companies, one is on its ass and the other one is the biggest stock in the world. You could literally just, dollar neutral, buy some Intel and sell some NVIDIA and just put it away and come back in 3 or 4 years and see where it is, without looking into the fundamentals at all.
All right. You want to move on to Reddit, see what's going on in the world of Reddit these days?
Sure.
All right. First up, sell or keep underwater car. So this person writes, I currently owe $26,000 on a 2018 Toyota Tacoma and have 41 months left of my 72-month loan. Monthly payment is $713, 11% interest rate. I have tried refinancing, but most companies back out once they see the age of the vehicle. I have an offer from CarMax for $23,500. Should I pay the $2,500 difference and get rid of the vehicle, or should I just bite the bullet and keep it? Goes on to say, I can pay for it comfortably, but I feel like this isn't the right move financially. I have a second car that is paid off that I could use that is reliable. What are your thoughts on this?
I would actually get rid of the car.
Yeah.
I would bite the bullet, pay the $2,500, get rid of the car, because you said they own 26,000, right? They owe 26,000
with an 11% interest rate.
11% interest, so that's got to be at least 25,000 in interest, maybe more, maybe 30 or 35. Like, they're going to be paying $30,000 in interest. Like, that's on a $711 payment. Like, just get rid of the car. If you have a car that's paid for, just get rid of the car. That's like a no-brainer.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Next up, pay into 401k or pay down mortgage. So this person has been playing around with the numbers of putting 15% pre-tax into a 401k or 4% pre-tax into a 401k to get full employer match and 11% after tax into a mortgage with a rate of 6.99%. Calculator says if I do that, I can pay off the $275k mortgage in 10 years. Currently have $350k and a 401k, plus I'm one of the lucky ones that'll have a pension waiting sometime after 62. I would also like to retire in 10 years. Having this house paid would make my life so much easier. So what are your thoughts on paying down one's mortgage versus maxing out a 401k?
They're both important things to do. And this is a very common problem that people have. And I think where people get kind of stuck is they think it's an all or nothing solution. They either pay down the mortgage or they put into the 401k. You can do both. So just do both. Now, the one thing I'll say is, they said that the 401k has a match, right? So you want to contribute enough so that you get the full match, right? So I would do that. And with anything left over, I would pay down the mortgage. That's the way I would do it, right? And just do both at the same time.
All right, next up, I'm saving up for my first home. How much should I save to start actually looking at houses? This person is currently 23 years old, a recent graduate in St. Louis with a full-time job, taking in about 3.5K a month, currently has 12,000 saved up and has a high credit score. And they are looking at houses online between the 100,000 and 200,000 range. But I feel like it's still so far out of reach. When should I be more serious and start actually looking for houses? So, I mean, my first thoughts were like, this person's only 23 years old. They've got 12K saved up, which sounds like a pretty good emergency fund for starters. I don't know if they should maybe just use that as an emergency fund and then start saving more aggressively for a house. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, if you just do the math on this, they're making $3,500 a month. I assume that's after tax. So if they were able to save $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, to buy a $200,000 house within about 3 years, they'd have enough for a down payment. That's totally doable. I think, like you said, they have an emergency fund. You need to keep some cash around. I wouldn't throw the whole 12 grand as the down payment because you do need to keep an emergency fund. So I think saving for 3 years for a down payment is, and look, if you're saving $1,000 on $3,500 a month in income, that's about 33%. Yeah, you can save 33%. Anybody can save 33% for sure. So I think it's totally doable.
All right, we got one more. This one's a little heavier. Help with 70-year-old demented father's investments to maximize income and limit volatility. So this person says their dad is age 70, severely demented, mom is deceased. Early this year, I got access to all his accounts, and he had 100K in a brokerage, which was basically a day trader account. And most positions were sitting in loss positions. Once I gained access, I sold it off and parked it in TBIL to mitigate risk and get some interest, which basically funds his caretaker. With interest rates going down, are there any logical moves for this fund over the next year, knowing we don't want and can't afford much of any downside risk? He basically lives off Social Security and monthly interest for his day to day. We only draw down on investments and savings for larger ticket items, property tax, for instance, and larger house maintenance. If it matters, this 100K is about 1/3 of his investments. The rest is in shitty Thrivent financial annuities, getting about 3% a year. Perhaps it is best to get him out of those two. Advice is much appreciated. What do you think of this one?
No, this isn't so hard. So look, like the annuities suck, but in this case, they're actually not a bad thing. So he said that 2/3 of his money was in these annuities and 1/3 was in the brokerage account. You have a brokerage account that's earning about 4.5% a year, which is about $400 a month. And you have annuities that are earning about 3.5% a year, which is about 7,000, which is about $600 a month. So 1,000 a month plus whatever he's getting on Social Security, which is depending on when he retired, anywhere from like 2,500 to 3,500. So the lesson here is just don't screw it up. Like it sounds like he's not going to live a whole lot longer. So the goal here is not to make money. I think that's what this person is asking. Like, hey, I have this money. What can we do to make more money? That's not the goal. The goal is you set up an income stream to take care of him for the rest of his life. And then once he passes away, then now you have $300,000 and you can sort of think about what you're going to do with that.
Okay, the week ahead. I mean, aside from the election, we've got the Fed meeting this week. Pretty much foregone conclusion. We're getting that 25 cut, right?
Yep, that's what's going to happen. Yep.
And what do you think in the December meeting? You think we'll get another 25. Small cut? 25 yep, again, and then yep. Who knows in 2025?
Yep.
Okay. Well, what else you got going on, Jared? How was Nashville?
Nashville was great. I'm exhausted. I was there for 5 days. Got back yesterday. Going to West Virginia University this week.
Nice.
Going to speak there. And then I have a short trip to Savannah the week after. And then we got Thanksgiving. And I think I'm going to take the whole week of Thanksgiving off. So
it sounds like you deserve it. You've been all over the place.
Well, I got to sit still and write the options masterclass. And I know everybody is looking forward to the options masterclass. And I've done a lot of work on it, but I'm maybe 40% of the way done. So I have to sit still and just crank that out.
What do you anticipate the final word count of that'll be? Is that a beast?
Probably about 15 to 20,000.
Okay. It's not horrible.
Yeah, but it's very dense.
Yeah.
So
you've been doing any other writing?
No, I haven't. I've still I'm trying to, by the way, Night Moves, we've talked about Night Moves a bunch. Here's Night Moves. Obviously, if you haven't bought it, you should buy it. People love it. I'm trying to get people to write reviews. I have 88 reviews on Amazon. I'd love to get to 100. So if you like the book and you have 30 seconds, go on to Amazon and you can just put a short little review up there. The reviews help. They help for a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm trying to get stories optioned for film. And if I put this in front of a director or a producer or an actor and they go to the Amazon site and it's got a puny number of reviews, that doesn't really help my cause. So the reviews help for a lot of reasons. So if you got 30 seconds, just go on there and put a review. So
that's funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking how fun it would be to turn Hit and Run into a short film. I would just love to do that.
I mean, Hit and Run would be a great short film. I don't know if there's enough there for a feature length film. I mean, the thing is with all of these stories, you could make short films out of all of them. There are some that you could, I think 200 Hours could be a feature length film. I think The Whitman School could be. I think Beyond Love could be. I think that could be a feature length film.
The Whitman School would be a great feature length. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
So good. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe somebody will pick it up as like an anthology series. You just rattle off a bunch of like hour shorts or something. That'd be cool too.
That would be my dream. Yeah.
Amazing.
Somebody was telling me, Attorney Duff actually was telling me that I should get a subscription to IMDb Pro and just look up a bunch of directors and stuff and send them copies.
Well, anything else before we launch ourselves into election day tomorrow? I'm gonna have to get like 12 hours of sleep tonight. It's gonna be a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
You gonna fire up the Twitter? You've been a little quiet on Twitter here, man.
Yeah, I've been quiet on Twitter. I just
look at old Tars. Did you name Tars after Interstellar?
Yes, I did.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm actually going to see Interstellar in 70 millimeter IMAX in Fort Lauderdale in December. They're doing a cool re-release, so that should be really sick.
I saw it in IMAX. I did.
Nice.
It was amazing. Yeah, Tars's humor setting is at 99%. So.
All right, Jared. I think that does it for us this week. I'll talk to you here soon. We'll talk post-election, and best of luck tomorrow.
Yep. See you.
All right, later.